People want to hate on my shine. That's okay. It was interrupted. Oh, I see it in the email. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, so apparently, what YouTube is telling me, the Monica Queen, thank you for coming through. What YouTube is telling me is the streams are interrupted when when the content is already copywritten. So basically, the video that I was playing was copywritten. Okay. So what I have to do is I'm gonna get my own original stuff, and then I'll be able to copyright it. But because it was already copywritten, I can't re-copyright it, whatever that is, right? And that's cool. So basically, to get the gist of it, of what I'm discussing, as far as us women and becoming more accountable of ourselves and letting everybody understand that we need to go ahead and create a time where we not taking that mess no more. We about us women, we about to straddle up our bootstraps, stop causing all of these unnecessary situations for ourselves and others. You get what I'm saying? Stop being petty and unaccountable, and get some business. So clearly I got to start doing that for my own video channels, but I'm learning, right? So we're gonna get this thing here to clear together, and we definitely gonna figure out getting my own original content. I guess I need to make a move on that, which is fine. And then I can do some more content because I'm not letting up on these love and hip hop videos either. Oh, and I got some other videos I want to do. It's this guy has a show, and I think it's a YouTube show where he shows a lot of toxic forms of relationships between mothers and children, and family problems or whatever. And you guys probably heard of him. As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up his name, because he does an awesome job, and I like looking at some of his videos. um Let me see if I can pull up his name. It's Hold on, y'all, just a second, because I'm about to get ready to have it. It's coming up right now. It's the Karamo show. Karamo show. And I love his shows. I started running into a lot of stuff. Y'all, I'm getting good at this social media stuff. But I started running into some of his videos, and I would like to do some breakdowns of it. Especially with unhealthy relationships and things like that. That's definitely about to be the move. But apparently YouTube wanted to tell me that they wasn't playing my love and hip hop video, my discussion, because it was already copywritten. So don't copy them. I feel you. Which is okay with me, because that means that I'm going to recreate something, and then I'm going to put it back out here. So I got a little bit of homework to do, because nothing small to a giant. Definitely going to bounce back from that and get everything together. But I don't think my channel's in trouble or anything, so I think we might be good. Um, we definitely gonna get that popping. But shout out to everybody that came through to hear my perspective from what you could hear. My replay gang, I do apologize. Let me get that video right for y'all, or at least let me get my statements right so that I can probably build something. There's so many videos that I gotta go back and fix that I never fixed, and I'm probably gonna make some of them public again that I've done before, and get all of that together as I go. But yeah, we definitely in the move, because we about to get some things straight out here, especially with us women, us sisters. We gonna do better. As long as I got something to say about it, we gonna do better. And Yes, Pearly, thank you for coming through. You see, they try to block my show. You know, they tried to stop my glow, but it's okay. And and Brother Ralph came through. Shout out to Brother Ralph. Um, I'm really on a movement. I feel like I'm on a movement, and it's cool. I'll be on this movement, and I don't know why, but I just feel some type of way, especially when it comes to our black men, and I kind of been on that for a minute too. Especially when I started coming out for Brother Kevin and helping with Brother Robert. Just just seeing how us women, we really don't be considering our brothers. Yeah, haters gonna hate Queen, but it's okay. We built for it tough around here. We can do that. You're okay. This mask is up for the challenge. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna speak up. We're gonna change this unhealthy. We're gonna even out the balance and make everything just because I got two sons. You get what I'm saying? I have two sons. And what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to form an unhealthy relationship with them. Like Mama D, I'm not going to allow anyone to mistreat them. You get what I'm saying? Because of the women in this society who find it easier to be unaccountable of themselves. Right, Pearly Queen. I'm not having it. So if it takes me to speak out so that some things can be seen for what it is, and us changing that situation as far as my voice can reach, I hope that I do that. I don't know if it'll be my sole purpose, but when I have certain discussions, it's definitely going to be with that intent. Because us women, we definitely got to do a lot better because we'll walk around not knowing, trying to behave as if we not being, classless, and that's exactly what we're being, classless, mistreating everybody, and feeling as if we have a right to do it. No, you don't have a right to do it. No female is going to come into my son's life and feel as if they have a right to do it. You get what I'm saying? And in order to make it easier for the both of us, let me go ahead and spread the word so that we can try to make something different. You get what I'm saying? So, because mama don't want to end up in jail behind her babies. So let's not play this game no more. Let's not do it no more. It's not fair, you know. It's not fair for our community to have such an such. It's just dumb. It's just careless. It's just trauma on trauma on trauma on trauma, and things don't change. One thing that I did look up and I did notice was um because especially in the black community, a lot of us we come from either a single parenthood, a single mother household, or we come from unhealthy household due to financial stability, lack of financial stability and everything like that. And a lot of these dynamics, it causes problems, for us, becoming our own adults and having healthy relationships. We don't have an idea. We don't know where to go. We don't know what we're doing. And most of the time we end up learning things extremely too late, right? And then nobody should feel as if they're living in any form of regret. Don't feel ashamed for not knowing anything. I've learned that I don't feel ashamed or embarrassed by my shortcomings anymore, because what I've come to understand is, for the most part, we've been going about things without knowing things. So we are all victims to it. So hopefully, we start to share our insight with each other, with good intent, and then we learn and we grow from it, right? And this is what I have viewed, and this is what scares me more than anything in life, especially for my sons, is for them to go about in a world that caters to the lack of accountability of women. And that is my problem. It's a major problem, not wanting to have the conversations. Our mothers don't want to have conversations with us about their lack of accountability. Our siblings don't want to have conversations with us because of their lack of accountability. We have a hard time speaking to our children because of our lack of accountability. We don't want to face the things that we have done that affects the ones around us that we claim to care about. You get what I'm saying? And that's not okay. Rashida was wrong. Mama D is wrong. You see what I'm saying? These are two different forms of unhealthy relationships surrounding with women and men, and not taking any accountability for their actions at all. That's a problem to me. I don't like it. You get what I'm saying? And I don't think that it's okay. You know, it's not fair. And I don't know if Brother Ralph coming back, but I'm gonna speak about the calling women the hoes. Look, we may not like, or I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think a lot of people just need to be honest with themselves. Men, men are not having the problem with the strippers. They not. They're not. That's why it's making its money. That's why women are making their money doing it. You get what I'm saying? It's not fair that we openly disregard their feelings or have a judgment placed upon these women because of the outer image of them. But for the most part, everyone is entertaining them, paying for them. You get what I'm saying? If you want your women to do better, be better. You know what I'm saying? We're all living in a wilderness, in an environment where, a lot of us do not have that guidance. So nobody is better than anybody. And strippers are people too. Exotic dancers. That's what they are. Exotic dancers. They're women. They have feelings. They have a character. They have an idea, even if it's not the right idea. You get what I'm saying? We have drug dealers. You get what I'm saying? And these men aren't necessarily doing the right thing either. But we cannot encourage one another to do better by discouraging them. That's what we're not going to do. I don't like that. I don't think that that's really caring. That's not really nice. Okay, Ralph, if you hear me, bro, you know, I care about everybody. down to, down to the ones who are in the lowest of the lowest. And those up to the highest of the highest. We are here to encourage everybody. You get what I'm saying? And thank you, Ralph. And we're not here to cast judgment on those beautiful women because, you know, a lot of them probably feel as if that's their only way, and they don't know any other way. A lot of drug dealers feel the same. A lot of rappers feel the same. You get what I'm saying? This is why prison has made a lot of money from a lot of people feeling like criminal activities is their way. But if we don't stick together, if we don't know how to properly stick together, how is it that we expect a change from it? We continue the cycle of judging each other, separating each other, finding a way to divide from each other when we are all in this together, right? And the first step to being in this together is to not judge women based upon their form of their current understanding. We're not going to do that. And we're not going to judge men for their current form of understanding either. Because I hold a special place for my brothers. I really do, in my heart. And I feel like I'll go to war about my brothers. I will. And I mean that. And it's entirely. Thank you, Terry King. Because, you guys need that. Our men need sisters, that absolutely considers them. Won't be no up in a minute. Won't be no up in a minute. I got you, Queen. I just, we all got a story, and we never know who we may offend, especially, when we say things or when we do things without considering their story. Angie got a story. Ralph says, I know we all need judgment of truth and honestly, but I understand what you're saying. You get what I'm saying, Ralph? You know what I'm saying? You don't know Angie's story, right? So we I'm blessed to say that I'm able to see a lot of things from from many different forms of point of views, and that's where I gained a lot of my wisdom from. I was able to learn from life lessons. You get what I'm saying? And it carries me everywhere I go. It actually makes me a lot stronger. And I'm finally tuning into that understanding. And I find that to be a very powerful weapon of mine, you know? So I don't want to judge anybody because of their current situations, past situations. And I don't want anybody to take what I state as me forming a judgment. I want everybody to take what I'm stating as a moment of we need to stand up to certain things, learn from it, take it as a form of love, and progress. There's no hoe in my book, no man or female. It is only a current situation, and learning and experience changes perspectives, and that changes lives. Okay? That is how you change your life. You know, you don't have to stay in one spot for the rest of your life based upon not knowing something or based upon the judgment that you have received because of it. You know, no, I mean, we have to be able to sit in our reality and actually accept it for what it is. And this is how we determine, what we have to do to grow, to get where we want to go, or to even figure out if that's where we want to go, right? So, Pearlie said, as far as class of people, no up, everyone gonna have struggles. Most definitely. So we could take Ralph, we can take the exotic dancer by example. And I speak about this a lot. And I want everybody to understand this because that exotic dancer, depending on the environment, which we all grew up in, basically, if we just gonna be real with it, we all grew up in this environment, but depending on how she perceived that environment and how she perceived herself determined what she felt she needed to do in that time frame, right? And because the outside world casts a normal judgment to call her a hoe or a slut or a trick or make her feel as if she doesn't deserve anything or she's less than or she don't care about herself, because of that affecting her self-esteem, she doesn't, even if she has the desire to become better, it causes a great hindrance for her to actually do so. So who is worse in this situation? Is it us because of the judgment that we've placed on her, because we didn't consider that she might have had a mind of her own, just not an idea of how to go about it? Or is it her, for every day, whether she knew any better or not, she decided to face it with what she knew and what she had? You used to live in the Be More strip clubs for 3 years and early. Exactly, Ralph. So you know what I'm talking about. We can't look down on our people. We can't look down on each other. Nobody's greater than anybody. Nobody is less than anybody either. We are all in this together. We are all here together. And the more we break down the things that causes division within us, the more stronger we can become. Because everybody has a story and nobody's story is worse than the other or greater than the other. You get what I'm saying? But it's a story that you learn from so that you can pass on your wisdom to somebody else who may need it. Oh, you want to come up, King? I got you. Let me drop it real quick. Come on up, King. Let me hear what you got to say for me. Yes, Pearly Queen. Okay, I see you right here, bro. King, can you hear me? Hold on. Is it mute?
Yeah, my bad. I think I muted myself. How you doing, beautiful Angie?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
It's been a long time. I'm happy to have you back on my panel.
Look, every time it pops up and I'm free, I give you a
Hmm.
tune in. I don't care what you talking about. I give you a tune.
Shout out to you. Thank you so much for that. What you got to say about the strippers?
It's not really per se the strippers, right?
Right.
I, I'm just saying, like how you said, we all got to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
That strip club is a place where everybody does strip together. It's a hand in hand exchange. Um,
Mm-hmm.
excuse my language. I'm a hoe for going to see the hoes. Uh, so we all
Well,
hoes in
see,
that situation, you know. So no one's
wow.
better. So you're right. So no one's better than the other.
No, nobody is, and we all got things that we wouldn't necessarily be ashamed of. We would be ashamed of, right? So we have to consider that. And see, when I even say stick together, because we got this false idea of what sticking together looks like. But to me, sticking together merely is just the fact of least judgment, releasing judgment on certain things, seeing the good in everyone, seeing the way to uplift everyone. You don't have to necessarily go out your way and try to pull somebody out, but you can always, be in consideration of others. That's how you stick together. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's where my disagreement was at. For the
Okay.
communication, just a little communication. Even though I understand
Okay.
100% what you're saying.
Hmm.
We need to be judged. Uh, we need to be fairly judged and righteously, honestly judged, so we can make better
but what
decisions
is
of ourselves.
but what is
Um,
righteously judged?
Something morally, if it's against the moral conduct. And like I said, I have many friends. Like I had so many friends in the early 2000s, in my early 20s. They were strippers.
Hmm.
Hell, I even thought I wanted to be one.
Okay.
Oh man. But when I thought, was it only for the money? Was it the lifestyle? Was it the thrill of just being seen? If it didn't match up to you doing better, becoming
Hmm.
better,
Hmm.
you had really this was just a rush, a dopamine. This is something that was just really very, very distortive to our community. Um, and like you said, we came out naked. We going, there ain't nothing wrong with being naked. Now I agree with you. Ain't nothing wrong with being naked. But when you're naked for the dollar, and when you use that dollar for the wrong things after putting your morals to the side, then you need to really evaluate yourself and be judged. And you need strong
Well,
people.
see, and that is correct. Morally so, it's not something that we agree upon, right? But because you have that moral understanding, is it okay to frown upon them so aggressively?
Yes.
Why?
Um, think about this, right? When you
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, I don't know if what type, parents you might have had. But my parents, when we did wrong, they
Mm-hmm.
frowned upon it so bad, or they made you feel so bad, or disciplined you so bad. You don't want to do it again. So you learn from that. That's why I can't say I killed someone.
Okay, so with that right there, what you just stated, could that be a form of fear and not necessarily, you know, oh, my mind just went blank. But do you think that they could have been forcing in a form of fear in you that made you
Oh
not want to
yeah,
do something?
100%. They
What,
will put a
what,
sense of judgment and fear.
okay, so could that be a form of abuse?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it as that.
Okay, so
Because
you
what
see
is the
things. Uh huh.
go ahead, go ahead.
So you see things as far as getting them to uphold their moral understanding is to cast harsh judgment and fear.
Yes. And not only just fear, love. Um,
Is that
and
love?
yes, but I'm gonna express it why, right? Because if I was to not listen to my parents, if I did not have the fear of my parents' righteousness and the fear of letting them down, I would have
Mm-hmm.
became someone less than what my parents wanted me to be. That way, if they didn't judge me, who else would be judging me? A judge would be judging me.
Okay,
And then
so could it?
I'll be abused even worse in the system than I would have been abused in my own home.
Oh, so what about this? Could it be that we could possibly get that same understanding of upholding your morals in a different format without necessarily casting harsh fear and judgment? Maybe if I was to tell you that I was disappointed in you, would that be a form of you getting to understand instead of casting judgment and saying that you're a hoe, or saying that, casting fear in you to becoming something different based upon what I want from you and not what you want for yourself?
Some people, some people can, some people need to be talked to that way. Some people need greater, I guess it would say they need greater discipline.
And
Um,
who is that to determine that?
the person who's the person who's being dealt with. So like, all right, I don't want to use animals. No, I'm not going to use animals. Animals is wrong because we're
Okay,
humans, right? Maybe like we subjecting ourselves to animals. So
right.
everybody probably might have that one brother, that one friend, or that one cousin
Mm-hmm.
who bad as hell.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what they don't. You can call them out their name. You can judge them. You can beat them. It's not going to stop them until life stops them. Some people actually need to be trauma has to have that trauma to stop them. Trauma and
See,
fear stops a lot, unless if it's not controlled by respect.
Cav, thank you for coming through. See what Cav says, Ralph said, if something has harsh consequences for others or the person doing the action, I can see how harsh judgment is actually righteous. I
Yes.
feel like this. I feel like harsh judgment should be casted upon those who are causing an interference to others, not to those who are causing an interference within themselves. I don't think that's okay.
See,
Now,
we
I
feel like
maybe.
we don't see it. We don't see it as it's hurting other people. But you know what? By me going to the strip club to
Mhm.
see those kind of women was actually
Mhm.
making me look at women as lesser than human.
Well, where's your accountability, bro? Because you
That's what
went
I'm
to
saying.
that strip club.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I said we were all in the beginning. I said we were all the H word. We all them. But it wasn't until I had a friend
Mhm.
who judged me. It made me
Mhm.
feel like if you so much better than them, why you hanging in the realm of that? If you so much righteous, to give your money to the wicked or to the immoral, why can't you give it to some kid or somebody that
Right.
needed it? So that's when I had to judge myself because I was being judged by my friend, which she was looking down on me after she just left the club to get her CDLs. And I was like, wow, I'm holding myself more righteous than thou, but I'm less than thou. Actually, I'm lower than them because they came into this with their own mind. I came into this looking to take over or be a part of their mind and
Right. And
manipulate their mind.
that's the
So I had
whole
to get out.
point. That's the
That's what
whole mhm.
that's what I'm saying. I had to, but that's my point of saying you need to be judged. Because some people ain't gonna never see the wrong in themselves.
Hold on, we're gonna see about this, y'all. Maybe it's because I'm the female in this situation, and
Yeah,
I'm
women see it
because
different.
majority of the strip world are female. So I got my sisters real quick. We're gonna get this understanding. What Cal said, look at the animal kingdom, they understand consequences, and that is what creates their rules and regulations. When those
Right.
rules are
That's true.
broken, you often see rage or anger. In a social environment, our actions have a ripple effect. Someone else's pleasure can eventually cause you pain. Consider all the people who transfer STDs. Thanks, King. Most definitely. I understand this, but I do think that the method that we've been going about it has been very unhealthy. It's caused a mental, it's caused a division within us. Not only that, but it causes a lot of people to become stagnant within their own growth. It causes a hindrance because of the way that we look at the word judgment, the way that we cast judgment. We do it in a form, in an unhealthy form. If you ask me, it's abusive. We force fear and think that that is what we're called. That's what we call discipline, and it's not. It's actually abuse. You get what I'm saying? And
I
and so that's
don't think there's something wrong with all forms of abuse. Some abuse is necessary.
nah. There's no such thing as halfway crooked, bro. Abuse
No,
is
it's
wrong.
no, it's
Things
no.
can get things can get done without being abusive, especially if we are considering caring. If we are caring, then we're not considering abuse, right? You don't want to be abused. You don't,
Let me
it's a form of manipulation to be manipulated into conforming into somebody else's idea instead of being treated with understanding to a certain a degree to create an understanding within yourself of why you should be doing better.
so
As long as you're
I'm gonna express to you why the strip club is the greatest form of abuse. The greatest amongst women to men. As a
Mhm,
man going to the strip club, this is not about you. It's about what you can give them. First form of manipulation.
mhm,
Second form of abuse. The first is mental. Second form is physical. They come up to
mhm,
you. They offer you
mhm,
must buy a drink to even stay in the club. You must be impaired. Number three, once you become impaired or just you drinking, each woman comes up to you. They might touch you in a manner that might not be appropriate. They might put themselves on you in a way that might not be appropriate. Um, they're gonna show you things that's gonna arouse your male nature to not even think the same again. That's abuse. And they get everything they want out of this form of abuse, even the money out of your pocket
well, wait a minute, Ralph. You
towards your
gave the
home and
whole
yourself.
idea. You gave the whole idea of the strip club as if the strip club came to you.
It do.
We're talking about
It does.
abuse after you agreed to get dressed. You showered yourself, right? You went and got your lotion on your body. You went and pampered yourself, got your hair
Some
together, taped
some
up
days
the
it be
line
straight
and
after work.
everything.
Some
You
days it
hold
be
on,
straight after
King.
work.
You put the jewelry on. You get what I'm saying? You went and probably got you a little drink, a little smoke too. Your friends, you get what I'm saying? You gassed up the tank. you got some money out the ATM, put it in your wallet, and you drove to that club. Did you not?
Sometimes.
Oh, okay.
It
What we
was worse
doing
than
here?
that. It was worse than that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's worse. It's not until somebody actually can talk down to you. I'm saying I'm just using me as an example. I don't mind using myself. I was mentally abused to get out of that scenario, Angie. I'm trying to tell you, some days I would leave work, I would get paid Thursday night. It become Friday morning. I would leave my job early, use my paid time off, catch the bus, go straight downtown Baltimore. I'm in the club before 2:30, before 4:34 is almost dead, chilling. Get still in my work uniform, chilling. Every times I go there with my older friends or I'll drive, chilling. But you know what doesn't change? The
Mhm.
scenario. Even though I brought myself there, you regain relationships with people who
Mhm.
want you to come back.
So, so hold on. Let me. Cal says two people consitting on only magnifies the action. It doesn't make it right. So I do understand shaming if it helps to change the behavior. However, I see your point on abuse factor. Most definitely, King. And it says,
Mhm.
shaming is abuse, as it is an act to manipulate the person by degrading. Exactly. It's best to handle these issues proactively. Discipline beforehand is the best. Thank you, Cal. You see what I'm saying? But Ralph, what you just did, you just created yourself to be the victim as if the strippers were like, you can't go nowhere. You have to stay here. Give us all
Yes,
your
they say
money.
yes, yes,
Grr.
that's true. That's true. And when you try to go, they prolong it. So I'm saying I'm a victim and I'm helping being a victim. I'm helping myself stay a victim. Because not only saying do I like it there, hold on, let me change. Not only saying do I love it there, I was
Mhm.
loving the wrong things. I wasn't loving myself. And I really wasn't truly loving them. I was just loving the fun of the environment. We're all morally wrong.
So, exactly. So, what we have to do before we call them holes, we have to be proactive in our own accountability. You have to decide that that's something that I don't want to see my sisters being in. So thus I will not behave in that environment. And not to judge them or to call or to call them names. You get what I'm saying? Because I want them to do better. But because I want them to do better, I won't participate.
They refer to themselves as the same names I called them, just like the women
But
on the
that
shows
doesn't.
refer to them.
But that.
Because we
So
all of
so
that.
so what you're
We
saying
all of
because
those.
they do it, that makes it right, huh?
No, that ain't what I'm saying. I said it makes it equal.
Oh
That's what I'm saying.
goodness.
It's immoral. So it's all unrighteous. The whole scene. That's what I'm saying about with the
But
love
see,
and hip hop.
this is
And when
the
they say
thing.
they keep calling each other that, I don't think that
Well,
they
this
should
is
be
the
referring to
thing.
each other as that.
You know, and this is why a lot of this this idea of people, you know how people will say, well, we're gonna stand against this, we're gonna stand against that, right? Well, you can't necessarily get everybody to stop doing something, but what you can do is stop yourself, right? And what Kev
That's
says,
right.
think about it.
That's
Women
right.
drive to the club to be sexualized and purchased and bribed for sexual favors, but it's still abuse. Most definitely. Think about it. Okay. And
Put
then
on their best
she,
clothes. Remember, put their best clothes on. The same thing you said to me. Their jewelry. To have a man buy them drinks and
they
grind on
most
them all night.
definitely do it. Most definitely do it. I think a lot of, shoot, we all participated in the club life, right? We have done this. So why is it that when we get to a certain point of our own understanding, we feel like it's okay to you know, call them these names, and then we justify our form of abuse towards people by saying, well, they do it to themselves. But just because they're abusive to themselves don't mean that you have to help in the abuse. because that's making you an abuser.
That's why I said it ain't always as bad to be the abuser. If you're gonna righteously do it, I
Pearly
understand.
King.
Um, I can't say to you, Miss Angie, um, oh, you're wrong for talking down on the people who feel more righteous to the wrong, while they're being wrong, misleading the righteous. I can't say that to you, you're wrong for that. I can say to you, you understand,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't call you out because if you're not participating, then you're not it.
Break that down for me. What you mean?
Are you a stripper?
No, I'm not a stripper.
So the strippers talk to each other. Hey, we hoes, we having fun. They have their lifestyle. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're not a part of it, you're not that. But I can't get mad at you for talking bad about them because you're holding yourself up righteous.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were that and you were talking about them, you will be wrong unless you change from that.
So basically, a hypocrite.
Yeah.
So it's okay as long as I'm not being a hypocrite.
Because somebody got to do the righteous judgment.
No, the righteous judgment to me is not necessarily, calling someone out of their name. I think the righteous judgment to me is finding the moral within yourself, how you would want to be treated, whether you may have a form of ignorance to something or not, wherever you stand in life. You get what I'm saying? There's something that you can improve as well, right? There's something that
Mhm.
you may not know better of as well, right? And there is something that you also came from your past, right? You have a story, right? So morally within yourself, in all consideration, we should have that for others. You get what I'm saying? Keep a boundary to where you don't, space yourself out to the need of others, but consider others so that we don't cast wrong judgment. It's not righteous to cast an abusive form of judgment. You get what I'm saying? That's not righteous.
I get it, but you'll become a victim by not. Because you'll see that it started to take over the mind of the youth. If you really look at it,
No, what takes
if
over
you look
the
at the
mind,
60s,
what
if you
takes
look at
over
the
the
60s,
mind of the youth is us not having these discussions.
well, they're not seeing the discipline of it either. They're only seeing the ups. You don't hear people saying, "No, I having too many documentaries. The lifestyle of being kidnapped as a stripper or prostitute," or you don't hear many stories of people saying, "Hey, the 60s and 70s weren't many places like this that our people can go to." This became more dominant in an era where everybody started accepting the wrongdoings of people doing bad to themselves.
I think it's a
Now it's like
matter of perspective.
that
Perspective.
perspective, but that's why we got the OnlyFans. That's why we got so many so many abortions. That's why we got so much family disrespect. And if you weren't raised like that and people were talking down upon it, I grew up where I had two parents and I used to laugh at kids. Oh, you don't got your mother and father. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, you got free lunch. Uh, y'all get food stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Now people want to praise having a two-parent household, but
Mm-hmm.
when you're young, you automatically joke on things like that.
But see, this is the thing. That very thought process right there, when we were young, right? And that was being done, right? You see, you took that very understanding. And as an adult, what you did was, because I want to be better or because I'm considering morals, you took that understanding and flipped it. And so now you're frowning upon people who you feel like you know better, and you're saying that they need discipline. You're giving them
Yeah,
abusive judgment. You see how that's the trickery of the mind. Because
yeah,
it's not
I agree.
necessarily that you've changed your mind to become better, it's that you change your mind to find other victims to abuse.
It's I wouldn't say my mind. I would say it changed my heart to not to not look at other people as victims. Like I said, in my mind, for me still having my mother and father married, I don't want to have a broken household. I had one broken household by making bad decisions, by not listening to my parents. Now I'm married now, and I'm upholding those standards that my family had installed in me. And so I look at people who make the mistakes of not being raised properly. They're continuing a curse because they're not being judged, they're not being disciplined, they're not being taught, and no one's really even passing judgment on them either.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Living.
Here's the thing. Let's do this. Ralph, do you believe in religion?
Yes.
So you go to church?
No.
No. But in your belief,
on and off, but no, because I don't believe church is a place that I don't believe church is religious.
Okay, so basically, in your form of understanding, you feel that it's okay to do this. It's okay, but ask yourself, has it gotten anything done or accomplished? What are the results of casting judgment on people in such a harsh manner?
Not only so I feel like I cast no harder judgment on anyone else more than I cast on myself, especially as a male.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be the hypocrite. Okay? So I must live up to my morals, my word, my standards, my beliefs. So I have to have structure. So anybody around me who doesn't have structure, I take myself away from them. I might be somewhat connected so I can talk to or tell them righteously, or tell them what's right from wrong, or tell them the honest opinion, a good opinion to somebody who's going to take heed to that. But if you're not going to take heed to that, I'm not going to jeopardize my life, because I can now be in a situation where I'm helping someone who's going to harm me. So I have to judge myself and them. And I would like for someone to do me the same and tell me the truth, as well as I need to tell them the truth.
I mean, I get it. You want someone to tell you the truth. And me personally, I feel like a lot of us have to change the idea of communication. And a lot of it comes from what we call a traditional upbringing, if you ask me, whether it be a two-parent home, a one-parent home, grandparents, or whatever the case may be. And the reason why it's called traditional is because it's the mindset that majority of the environment carries. It's a silent agreement that this form of understanding is okay, but it's been a part of the destruction forever. And that is it's the division, because none of us are in a space, if you ask me, to be the ones to cast judgment upon anyone, especially in such an abusive form. You get what I'm saying? Because just like you said, you believe in, you go to church every now and again, but not like you should, right? So you would have a pastor to, in your form of understanding, you would have a pastor to basically condemn you and judge you and tell you that you are wrong and how you need to do better. And you feel as if they should. You get what I'm saying? And that's your form of understanding of mental abuse being tolerable. And that's not okay. Because what you can do,
that's why people have confessions. That's why people have confessions. They need to hear, if not someone telling them, they need to hear themselves telling themselves, I was a bad person, I need to change. So they even use their own negative affliction on themselves to be better.
But you can do that differently. You can have that same understanding. You can go to confessions, right? Even if I was the pastor and I was to tell you, I would say, Brother Ralph, I'm disappointed because I feel that you should have been in church a lot more frequently than you have. Would I have not gotten the job done the same?
No, not with me. I would have told you, hey, look, maybe your service is a little boring,
I don't like the way you pass that collection plate.
Well, see, then you got to
I
understand
probably,
that you may have been abused.
but
That
that's
you
what I'm
have
saying.
been.
Everyone's not strong enough. People, that's when you said to me earlier. I'm like, everyone's not strong enough to take the easy route, that easy talking to. Some people, like I'm gonna use my wife. I gotta talk to my wife easy going.
Mhm.
But with me, you gotta talk to me stern, straightforward, and making sure that is drilled into me, like the military.
Hey, Miss White. Okay, so you feel like that's just the thing all across the board. I'm telling you, it's abuse, bro. I'm telling you that even the military has abused, the soldiers. That's
Yeah,
that's basically what they do in training, is it not?
yeah, and I agree with it because if you're gonna sign up for it, you got to be mentally prepared for it. Some people don't understand that. Mental abuse also gains mental strength, or it can weaken you mentally as well. But you
So
gotta
you think
understand,
that gaining mental strength through abuse is the proper way to do it?
yeah. Okay, your parents telling you to stand that you did something wrong. You stole an apple.
Uh-huh.
I'm your father. I say, hey, look, go stand in that corner. You facing that corner is going to be mental and physical abuse because now you left in that corner with your thoughts, your emotions. Staring at that white wall gonna cause your visions and headaches. Okay, I
Oh
done stood in
wow.
that corner for
If
so
you stood
long.
in that corner that long, bro.
I done stood in that corner for 3 hours.
Oh no. You gonna make me
Y'all was
cry.
bad.
Wait a
I
minute.
was bad. I was bad. I ran away. I ran away at 7. Thought I could do it on my own. So I'm saying there's some people who have a willpower that's stronger than others, and it needs to be broken. Mentally, it needs to be broken. Everybody isn't
No.
the same. So
You
some
don't
people are
have no
very
no no
hard
no no
headed.
no. Nobody is the same, and that's correct. But this is what we have to understand. The even having the understanding of having to break somebody is a form of abuse. Nobody should be broken in order to be rebuilt up. You're already built. You're already there. See, that's abuse. And see, that comes from the slave mentality. You having to break somebody in order to build them up. What you're doing is you're realigning them according to your will. You get what I'm saying? And this is why I
I
tell
get
people
it.
all
It's
the
what you're
time,
breaking. It's what
do
you're
not
breaking them for.
conform. Huh?
Yeah, yeah, it's what you're breaking them for. If you're breaking
No,
them just for
you
selfishness,
don't, nobody has a right to break anybody. That's the point.
if you don't break them, somebody else gonna break them. That prison
Well,
system definitely gonna break them.
see, that's not fair. That's not okay. That's the problem. That's the
It,
problem.
it is already a structure.
That's
And I'm
embedding
telling you from a
fear.
man's point of view. I can see
A
how you see.
man's Mhm.
I can see how you see it from a woman's point of view. A lot of the
Right,
women, I'm not saying that y'all get an easy break, but y'all get a
right,
lot of bailouts. But as a
right.
man, you don't get as many breaks. Matter of fact, if sometimes as a man, just to get that one break is good enough to change you a lifetime. That's
And
why
see,
they censor that so hard.
that's why I'm changing. I want to speak up against the unhealthy behaviors of us women so our men can lose the idea of um or not even just the idea, because I'm gonna be real with you, I understand that feeling, you get what I'm saying, so that they, we got to build a healthier form of relationship between men and women, and we don't necessarily have that, so that we can have a better form of communication with each other. And one of the things that I know, I feel as men feel very, very lonely. They feel alone for the most part out of everybody else. Women may have lonely moments, but I don't think that they necessarily feel alone. And I think men feel that in its fullness. We have women who may feel that as well, but as a whole, I think our men have that the most, right? So
As
I
a
get it.
whole. I would
And
say it built that's what actually makes us because we understand there's not too. Most of us don't have a father. I was blessed to be able to have strong. Most men don't have a lot of strong family support. Then
Right.
you might end up losing your immediate, your wife, your girlfriend, loving family support, and
Right.
all you have is yourself. So at the end
Right.
of the day, the discipline, the morality, the standards, the abuse you took will gave you the character to be righteous. And that's a
Right.
problem because, like you said, most women will never have to really go through that. But majority of all men will. So that's why we see it so different. That's how we can take that type of mental abuse because we understand what we don't want to be.
But wouldn't it be nice? Hey, Shirley Queen. Thank y'all for coming. Yes, Tabby. I'm gonna check in with you on that discussion too, Queen. But wouldn't it be nice if you actually had an environment where you did not have to bottle all of that in, you didn't have to endure all of that, or you didn't have to feel as if you were completely alone in it? You know, the strangest thing to me is that us women, we would give life to our men and then raise them to feel absolutely alone, as if they have to endure this completely on their own. And that we don't have a full understanding as to what they are feeling, what they are experiencing, and what they are thinking. And thus, their whole assumption of what they are going through in life is based upon, well, you have to be broken in order to be disciplined, or you have to endure such damage in order to be considered a man because you're holding yourself strong. In all reality, you are the greatest victim. And
Oh,
you're not necessarily realizing that.
I get it. I'm my bad. My phone had got hot. I had to take it out the case. But
Mhm.
it just that's just not the world. Angie, I
It's not
agree.
the world, but
And
we
it's
have
definitely
every
not the world. And it would
we
be 100% more better. It would definitely feel great. And shit,
well, we have
it
every
would.
right to change that. Cause
We can't.
I got sons.
Well,
And what I'm
we
not
that's what I'm saying, Angie. We can't change it as men because that's a woman's problem.
You're
See
right.
what
And here
I'm
I am. Rawr.
saying? So we as men, we gonna fall in line for y'all anyway, or we gonna not have y'all. So if we get women of character, morality, strength, with righteous judgment, the right to know what's abuse and not abuse, or just a stern judgment, us as men, like I said, we've been taking this since I don't know how long. How can we now say we gonna judge you now? Cause we already judged ourselves. See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So we can't put
Well,
y'all.
well, see
If we
what
really love y'all, we can't put y'all through that.
okay, so this is what I want you to understand, and you take it with your walk, okay? Especially when it comes to the slave mentality. And I tell people all the time, I tell them about this book, and this lady, let me get it real quick. Hold on, I have it right here on my shelf. Hold on.
That's why I love Angie, y'all. Cause she's so feminine. She got the care. She got that motherly care for everybody. But she got to see some things mama can't give you.
Okay, it's the post-traumatic slave syndrome, okay, by Dr. Joy. And everybody can go take a look at this on YouTube. She's done a lot of she does she has done a lot of discussions about this. And what I want you to understand is a lot of this comes from slavery, okay? Because how is it that they can keep an entire community of people broken? They have to attack the muscle the hardest, and that is our men. How can they make it to where our men stay in that place? Well, they use manipulative tactics to keep you separated from your women. But they can't necessarily do this unless they change the form of understanding between the both of you. That's the problem.
I think that used to be the problem, Angie. That I think that book might be a little
No,
outdated
it
now.
still
You know what I'm
is.
saying?
It's most definitely still the problem, because how many of us have been to counseling? Counseling has just become a normal thing. Narcissism, you know that term? That term has been, it's new. People are just now using it. You know, a lot of people are called narcissists, but we don't have that many people who are actually diagnosed as narcissists.
I think that word is loosely thrown around without the proper
Loosely,
understanding too.
exactly, because the whole counseling phase has come into play. You get what I'm saying? This is completely new. So it's not that we're still enduring the mental trauma, the mental understanding, the mental judgment. You get what I'm saying? From the thought process of white supremacy and slavery. And it's caused a division within our own household, our own community. We're separated. Most of us look at everything as a form of competition. You want to know why? Because we've been forced into a thought process of barbaric mannerism. You get what I'm saying? We're competitive in anything. We can't
Yes.
trust anybody. So even in the ones that we're supposed to be trusting, we can't trust them. And even in the ones that we're supposed to care about, we can't care about them. We found a ways to not fully understand how to trust ourselves, to not care about ourselves, because we're placing all of that into the hands of the environment around us and not within us. We're failing completely.
Yeah, that's true. And I agree with that. But like I said, I'm just trying to, I'm just trying to keep this conversation going with you. And I don't feel like you said anything wrong. I fact,
Okay.
actually understand that you didn't say no lies, but the reality of it is someone is always going to feel better than the other. Someone's going to always feel more empowered than the other. As head of my household, I feel more empowered than my woman, even though I know my woman is my backup, my everything, my world, my queen. But I feel like if she's not going to abide by my rules, why do I need her here to make things harder for me and also for my children? So I have to have the advantage over the situation, not over her, but over the advantage of situations that could come that can ruin our relationship. I need to understand as a male, as a leader, what sacrifices I need to make to even cut other people off or add on to my life to build my family or to build families. It's not going to always be that it's because of slavery, because it's about being, not even saying the opportunities, it's about being a person who wants to climb the ladder. Sometimes you got to step on toes to climb that ladder. You see what I'm saying?
See, this is the thing that I want people to understand. Just like you said, sometimes you got to step on people's toes to climb that ladder. Um, what we have to understand, and this is all about understanding the environment that we are in. You're in a controlled environment, and in a controlled environment, you feel limited, and thus you feel the need to step over something in order to feel more accomplished. And the truth of the matter is that the in comparison thought process is based upon being in a controlled environment. You don't
It's
have
because
to.
of it's because of results, though, Miss Angie.
You feel that they are results. This is
And,
all an
and, and, I,
illusion.
and I don't mean by doing no one wrong. I mean by even stepping over it. See, let's use school. If I
Mhm.
want to be, if I want the best, let's see how people want to be brain surgeons, neurosurgeons, engineers. You
Mhm.
want to be the top of the class, so you got to even beat the A++ student. You got to be over that. That's cutthroat. You showing that hey, I'm more into this than them. You're showing that you have to oversee someone else. So you can be picked. the NBA, the NFL. Shoot, even in being married, a relationship, you might see a guy in high school that you might really like, that other girls might like, and you did more to get his attention than them.
Well,
Somebody's
see,
gonna
that's
get
the
swept
whole
over.
thing. That's the whole thing. You're doing it for your own motive. And that's fine wanting to succeed at something, but you see, once you actually get that, once you actually have it, how are you going to be able to obtain it?
That's
Because
what we think.
you're
You gotta
going
roll
to
with those punches. You gotta
no,
roll with
you
those punches, man.
no, it's not rolling with the punches because you have to decide if that's something that you actually wanted in the first place. Because when you get there and you actually win that, when you're in that position, are you going to feel the need to do something else, to get somewhere else, to do something more? Because you can't stop. Now you have that thrill, and it's an unhealthy thrill. Because truth of the matter is, if you had wanted not just for yourself, but with the understanding of, everything in its entirety, then you wouldn't lose the thrill for it at all. But it's the mindset that makes you lose it. It's the mindset that makes you feel as if that's not what you wanted. You don't even enjoy the experience of getting there because you're having the rush of actually obtaining something that you didn't even fully want in the first place.
But that's why I said as a girl thing. When guys truly want something,
Okay, Tabby Queen.
it's really that's why I say it's kind of hard. I don't want to make it seem like I'm against women. I don't want to make it seem like guys are better than girls or more dedicated than women. But that's why they say men don't leave families, no matter how much wrong we do, no matter how much outside we stepping in, we don't divorce. When men say we good at something, we predominantly stick to that. If a man really expresses he love you, even while doing wrong, he still feels guilt to the point he's going to eventually get it together. And if he never gets it together, he only love you to that extent. But he's not finna to bail out on you. When women say they have a passion for something, the next thing you know, they got a passion for something else. They got a want and a passion for that too. And a passion for that's inside of that passion. I'm like, damn, how much passion you got? I mean, I'm only good at basketball, baby. I can't do no play basketball. This is my passion, you and basketball, and loving my family. Other than that, I don't really desire anything else. And anything else I do is to make sure y'all straight. Most men don't desire anything besides that. Women desire a lot of passion. That's why it's not the same motive. It's not even the same goal in life.
Is it?
Nah,
Is it?
it's
So,
hypergamous.
so a woman saying that they desire their family, their partner, or playing basketball, that just doesn't seem normal.
No. Look at Angel Reese. Prime example of the youngsters. I love basketball. Basketball is my life. Next minute, basketball don't even pay my bills. Is it the passion or is it because you did it for the money? Women
Well,
need
see,
more
you
money.
just explained that same thing about stepping on toes,
No,
about getting to that goal point. But that's exactly what I was
but,
stating. You
but
get
she's
there,
willing to let it go. As a man, that's what I'm saying. As a man, you're gonna stay there. That's why you got dudes in the
even if
military
it's
all their
miserable
life.
to you.
You
It was
got
about conquering it.
yes.
But
Yeah,
even if it's miserable to you, you're gonna stay
you
there.
still stay there. We're gonna still
That's
stay there
crazy.
because we accomplished that goal. And what does it mean to put 12 years, 10 years, 20 years into something? So what? I'm miserable now. I'm just miserable now. That's how men think. Maybe it'll get better. I dealt with it. That's the whole premise of
Dang.
us trying to be better. A
And this
woman
is
will
why
say something
men,
different.
this is why you guys as a whole have been abused so badly. That's bad. That is horrible. Do you
You
hear
can ask,
what you're
yeah, I'm
saying?
trying to tell you, Andrew, yes, you can ask majority of any man. They hate their job, even if they good at it. Know the whole ropes about it. They ain't gonna go get another one. Why you gonna try to learn this all over? It's like trying to learn a new woman. Why you want to go do something else?
What? Wait a minute. Wow. Wait a minute. So you will stick to something that keeps you miserable because you don't want to learn something. Here. How about this? Instead of looking at it as learning something else, how about actually taking the time to learn yourself?
That's what happens when you get out of the job. You learn yourself. That's the end process. Then you're ready to die. That's the end. That's your flower. That's your flower that blossoms, that blooms. Now it's time to die.
That's depressing.
Hey, look, go ask an older man, right? How long you been at your job? That motherfucker will say, I've been here since I was a teenager. Go ask a man in 60, 70, how long you been at that job you been in. Go ask the doctor how long he's been in his field doing the same thing to his raised to be. A woman probably been a nurse. She's gonna stop being a nurse to go into the school system. From the school system, she might work into the daycare. You see what I'm saying? We really only
life is just so basically life is just meant for y'all to just for us to just stick to one thing and just keep going and don't progress, don't enhance, don't evolve, just no.
Nah. That's why I said it's a different dedication. I said that's why you're supposed to step on toes. If it's for the reason of you going out to better your family, if it's a reason for you to go out and better your situation, go for it. But let it be for that reason that's going to benefit the family. That's going to benefit the goal. That's why men don't leave, because they see the goal. It might be a long-term goal. We might have little outside branches too, but it's not more than our long-term goal.
Okay,
see what I'm saying? We not.
I think we're going in circles.
Yeah, because I don't think you getting it. I think you hearing me, but I don't think you getting it.
No, I think
that heartache, that miserable, that tough time, that wearing your body into the ground. You know, most men work their bodies into the ground by the age of 45, 60. They can't do half the things they used to do no more.
All but of this sounds depressing. I actually want to cry. Like, seriously. But you find that to be normal. Find that to be okay, and say that it's the life of man. But when does it change? Is that something that you want for your children?
Have you ever watched a caveman story? The caveman sit there and he go hunt, and he know he can die that day. He go hunt. He gonna roll and find a rock. He gonna find a rock. A rock gonna get on top of a stick. Now he got a hammer. Now he hammers the same things he built his house with on top of another animal's head. He doesn't change anything. He found something new, but nothing changes. He still uses the rock and that hammer. Nothing changes. And he might die out there, and his wife would jump to the same man who's going to use another rock and a hammer.
Well, see, here's the thing. We're not using rock and hammers no more because we had a caveman who evolved and made actual equipment and machinery and things of the sort, right?
That's putting man that use the rock and the hammer out of business. That's going to go out there. Now his wife is going to find someone.
But it took one of them cavemen. It took one of them cavemen to say, I don't want to use the rock and the hammer no more. I'm going to make machinery.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make machines. That's what he said. And then not only that, but the women, you see the thought process of, well, I'm going to leave here and she's going to go to somebody else anyway. But that doesn't necessarily have to be true either. What did you leave behind for her to stay?
You left you put everything on the line. That's why I'm saying it. Either you're gonna go out there and die from hunting.
Okay,
you're gonna die from your
if your thought process is that you just gonna do what you do because she gonna leave and she gonna leave when you gone, then you didn't leave anything.
Or while you there, everything. Or even while you there, because it's not up to you for her to decide that woman's gonna decide what's valuable that you get. Not you. You're gonna work. You're gonna have to provide. You can't even be around her half the time. You gotta go out and about. So whatever happens to you outside of that home, whatever happens to you at work or hunting,
You don't know what's going on at home as a man. All you can do is rely on the truth and honesty and dedication and loyalty that your woman provides.
Right.
So be it. So be it if you get your leg bit off by a tiger while hunting. So be it if you lose your arm at your job. So be it if your job then worked your body down into stress. That's what's gonna happen to you anyway, no matter what form you look at it. Now you gotta look at it. Is she still gonna stay with me, beaten, battered, and bruised?
She should.
Yeah, you would like to think that, but they don't.
Why she can't?
Because 75% of women uses divorce. So obviously something is wrong with this nigga.
Somebody they using divorce before people even get their leg ate off. So
that's what I'm saying. Now you got
I
it.
don't think
It
nobody
ain't up to
makes
us
it
no
to that
more.
point.
It ain't us no more. All we
But
can do is
sometimes
the
it's
same
the
thing.
men that's doing it too. Wait a minute now, because see, you trying to cause a division in this discussion, and I'm trying to stick with you. But see,
No, I'm not causing. I'm sorry. That's what I said. I didn't want to do that. I said I didn't want to do that because there are good women, but I'm saying it's a small group. I'm not. It's not for
so
us
you
to keep
settle for the
in.
large majority because it's a small group. And then your thought process is let me live a life of misery for this person that's in the large majority because eventually when I leave here, either one is going to move on from me either way. Is
Yeah,
that what you're
you're calling it misery. I call it life of dedication. Okay. Okay, that's the word we losing out with here. You call it misery, I call it dedication to my word, my religion, my spirituality, my family, myself. That's all I got as a man. That's it. Anything else, I know I did right.
You know
So
what you
however I
should
judge
do? You should
it.
think about the children. Because whether you know it or not, whatever you're doing within yourself, it pours out of you. It comes out of you in every thought process that you have, in every form of understanding, in every form of communication. And your children is around that to feel that, to sense that. You get what I'm saying? And they develop themselves, whether you inform them of what's happening or not. They develop themselves in that environment. So what you're leaving behind is not just because of the wife or your partner. It's for your children. It's your legacy. So if you're going to leave behind for your son to grow up to do the same pattern as you, then you've left nothing for him.
I wouldn't agree with that. And this is why I'm gonna say this to you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Andy, how many men have you broken? How many men have all right, now I'm gonna put it. I gotta phrase this better. Have you broken up with more men than they've broken up with you?
No. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So
Let
if
me tell
that's
you
the
this. Cause see, what you about to do is you about to try to make it seem like I just walk away from things, and that's not
no,
true at all.
that's nowhere where I'm gonna go.
Let
And I'm
me
gonna ask
explain
every
this.
woman in the audience, I'm gonna ask every woman in the audience, how many men have actually broke up with you in your life, and then how many men have you broken up with, and you just sum it up from there.
Well, let me explain this. When I'm in a relationship, I give it everything that I have. Not saying that I am always right, but I give it everything that I have. You get what I'm saying? I give it my all. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not leaving somebody because of the normal reasons to leave somebody. You get what I'm saying? I'm leaving because of betrayal. I'm leaving because of the trust being damaged. I'm leaving because not only are you failing me, but you have failed yourself. I'm leaving because I care.
Is that
That's
not
the difference.
abusive? If that's not abusive, I see that as abuse because I'm in your shoes. I've
Uh-huh.
left more women than I've ever been broke. I probably only been broken up with one time, and she tried to come back, and I left. So
Mm-hmm.
out of the many women I've been with, I've actually ran away from or broken up with Probably
So why?
90% of the women. So for when a woman says that to me, I
Mhm,
say, yo, you don't know I'm actually a guy that's been in your shoes.
mhm.
Uh, I'm the abuser because I was not strong enough to fix.
I'm confused.
I'm the abuser because if I was so much better, if I was so determined to stick to this relationship, no matter if you failed me or I failed you, if it was truly love and I truly wanted you, I would have
Mhm.
tried my best to help and fix. So I'm now the abuser because I left you stranded with broken heart and I wasn't able to heal what you didn't wasn't able to fix. That was broken in you. I'm an abuser.
So me sticking around makes you the abuser?
Me sticking around makes me to the women. To the women, no. Me not sticking around to the women that I
Mhm.
used to date, that I knew or seen the problems within that I could not or did not want to deal with or personalized help them with and just ran off. I abused their time, their love, their bodies
And why is it?
because I wasn't satisfied. I felt that I was the reason it was only
But
sticking
no,
together.
Ralph, you said y'all usually stick it out
That's
and
that's what I'm saying. I'm the anonymous. I'm on y'all side.
but,
Until now, I understand that.
so
Okay,
now
but I
you just gonna
usually
find one of them to deal with and you be miserable.
I ain't miserable yet. But
Look, we done got so far off topic, bro. Like, okay.
no, we not. But we not off topic though. Truly, we not off topic because it's still the form of abuse. We're still talking about the form of change. We're still talking about what these people. The show that you were just.
Yeah,
These are the
now
same
we talking
people.
about relationships when we was talking about strippers.
Yeah, well, the relationship is still the same. From that man DC thing you were saying, these people was in bad relationship with what strippers in the club. We still on topic. We still on topic with these people who are abusing people for the wrong ways. We still on topic. We ain't go nowhere.
What
We
what
on
what I
topic.
have to say about relationships is, and we gonna get off a relationship. What I have to say about it is, um, I think that we all find an attraction to things according to where we're vibrating. So if you are in a relationship with somebody and no matter how deep the relationship has gotten, if you have evolved within yourself, you're going to cause abuse on yourself to not find a way to help that relationship evolve with you or you move from it. Now, I know that a lot of us, we try to stick with things, we call it loyalty or love or discipline or all of these forms. But see, what we are doing is, in a sense, now I'm not telling everybody to just walk away from things because I hold on to things dearly too. But what we're doing, in a sense, is we're not considering the fact or the change. We're not considering it. You get what I'm saying? Nothing grows from something that's just stuck in one place. So you have to get creative with the idea of how you can make this progress for even if not for yourself, for your children. You get what I'm saying? A learned lesson, learned behaviors. You get what I'm saying? Improvement. It's not something that we have to look down on or frown upon, but it's something that we can take an understanding from so that we can, be able to change it for whomever it needs to be changed for. You don't have to walk away from a relationship. You don't have to end or terminate a relationship. But if you see yourself growing or you see something that you no longer are necessarily happy about or something that you never even considered, it's okay to take note of that and decide something that can be done for the betterment of you, or at least for your children, for your future. You get what I'm saying? it's a way to make something better. It's something that is being shown to you that you can learn and grow and enhance. It doesn't mean, you just sit in your misery. If you're sitting in your misery, you've allowed yourself to be the victim of abuse. Does that make sense?
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense, but I don't, they don't change anything. But it makes so much sense.
How does it not
And
change anything, Rob? I'm not gonna do this fight with you, bro.
I'm just, when you said all I can do is evaluate myself as a man and as a father, as a husband, um, I got, it's all made me tear up because like, damn, this is crazy because I set my laws by God. And almost to a degree, you're telling me if I got to break my oath and my will to my marriage, my bond with God and my family that I put before
Not telling
myself.
you to do any of that.
Yeah, I'm not saying like you per se saying it, but if you're not happy, because if I'm getting wiser, standing strong in the same spot, how come the fruits, the vegetables from my tree ain't growing? It's
If
strong.
you
So I'm
made
failing them.
this vow, listen to this.
I'm failing them. I'm
Okay?
failing them, Angie. If I can't do it, I'm failing them as a man.
No, 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 no. No. If you have taken a vow, if you have done something in a moment in time where even though you felt as if you had your complete understanding and you progress in time and your mind has so changed or enhanced and have grown to a different space, you are not losing. You have entered a different form or perspective. Now, what you can't do is run away from this understanding. What you have to do is come up with ideas to see if you can make this better with this understanding in some form of progression. We always look at change as something that's negative. You got to run from something. You made it seem so gloomy. I vowed in front of God. Okay, you vowed in front of God, but here's the thing: God also saw the change in mind and understanding as well. And that doesn't mean that He necessarily wants you to walk away from your love. But it is a moment that needs to be addressed, because if you do not address it, you are only internally hurting yourself. You're going to create a prison for yourself because you don't want to address what you see different.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's what you can't do. You cannot unsee it now that
you're saying it, but you don't live the action. That's why I can agree with you, but you don't live the action,
Who don't
because
live the
that's what
action?
I'm saying. I'm as to a man,
Who
like
don't
that's
live
what I'm
the
saying.
action?
You are a leader. Now you are failing as a leader if your woman cannot see and follow the instructions and the vows that you put before her. You're losing the family. You're losing the job. You're losing stability. That's why I'm not saying you don't per se understand, but through a man's eyes, that is failure.
Well, you got to change your mind, bro. Okay.
Yo, I don't know. Yo, I'm trying. Angie, next time I talk to you, have a show. I would just pray you talk to. I pray and hope you talk to some other guys. And I guess if you said that's how far gone we are, you find me. I'll donate to you. I'll give you $25 if you can tell me one
Okay.
guy's story that would be like, yo, I felt as if it was my fault. Like this whole subject we on,
if they don't feel like if it's not their fault that they lost their family by doing right, or if they feel like, you know what I'm
Nobody's
saying,
telling
somewhere,
you to leave your family,
yo,
Ralph.
any guy, no, I'm saying any guy who can't, who doesn't, the guy, I'm saying guys don't leave their family. So guys who do leave their family, they really can't.
See, you're
They feel
taking the result of what I stated as leave. I didn't
no,
say that.
that's what we do. No, I'm saying that's what we do. Women majority leave, men majority stay. So when a
So
man leaves,
even
you
in
have to
your
be very,
stance,
very bad person. You have to be a very bad woman for a man to
but
leave.
But Ralph, even in your staying, you can change it. You don't have to leave. You don't become a see, that's the first outlook. That's the first outlook. They say, well, we have to leave now. No, you don't have to do that. What you have to do now is address that there is a change within yourself of how you see it. And the very people that are around you, you can change it with them. You know this, right? You can become
Yeah,
totally different people, right?
yeah.
You know that, right? So
But
why
that's
is
the
the
point. You're not
automatic
growing
route
together
is I'm a failure? Why is the
because
automatic route is I have to walk away?
because you weren't able to grow together.
Well, if you aren't able to grow together, then yeah, walk away.
Nah, if you're not able to grow together, walk away. If you're growing together, stay. Don't
Yeah, I
go
said if
nowhere.
you
Yeah,
aren't
yeah.
able, if you aren't able to if you aren't able to grow together, then yes, walk away.
And then you feel like a failure because you know, as a man, when you love a woman, you love that woman. Okay,
So
ain't no,
so
yeah, that's
basically,
real shit. It's like
So
you love
so
her.
basically we're already looking at the failed part and we're not looking at Ralph, we not
No,
gonna
we looking at no. See, you hearing it wrong.
mhm.
A lot of men ain't looking at it to see the failures. We know the failures already. Shoot, you're gonna be heartbroken and you're not gonna want women like you want women. You're not gonna see
Okay,
women the
Ralph.
same.
This
I'm
is
looking
not
at
a
the good.
relationship panel. This is not a relationship panel, but what I am going to say to you, if your first if one of your thought processes to leave your relationship, you don't have to feel like a failure because you have a changed outlook on it. You're growing and you have a right to it. Your partner has a right to it. If you guys can't work it out, then it's something that doesn't it just can't be worked out. It doesn't mean that you failed. It means that you had trial and error. That the greatest entrepreneurship, the greatest businesses, they come from learned lessons. And one thing that you cannot do is you cannot consider your failed attempts and hold that in higher regard of new experiences, new chances. That's a mentality that you don't want to have, even with your loved ones. No one's to say that you have to fall out of love with someone because the relationship no longer works. You get what I'm saying? And
I
and
get it.
and because
I get it.
you've given every option. You get what I'm saying? You're not a failure because of that.
I get
What
it. And we're
what it
gonna take
is,
it to those strip club hoes. It's a 3-year relationship with them women in the strip club. And I built a relationship to where I cared about them. Okay. So I felt bad
oh,
loving the strip club, but I had to leave them behind too because god damn it, I had some thrills in that jump. So
okay,
it's all summed up the
okay.
same. But I'm gonna get back to that topic. I'm gonna actually quiet down. I'm gonna step down and let you get back on board with it.
I'm
But
gonna
it's
end my
all the same.
discussion tonight because we done went so off topic. I'm gonna just end it, and it's just gonna be this for the night.
No, don't even end the show, yo, because people. I'm pretty sure people are entertained right now. And if you get back on subject, I'm pretty shoot. I'm entertained. I mean, cause I
I
don't
don't even
watch that
think
Love and
nobody
Hip Hop.
watching us, Ralph.
No, well, shit, they need to be. I don't know why they not.
I mean,
I
it's a good
don't know.
conversation. Well, I don't
Yeah,
like talking about relationships, and the reason why I don't like talking about relationships is because I think a lot of people are selfish when it comes to that whole idea. Um, I
you feel
don't.
some accountability.
I think it's overrated. I think people always try to do comparisons. I don't like. I mean, I talk about it, but I don't like to go into a whole personal thing about it. And it's just I think everybody has a bad idea about relationships. They have a bad
Never.
idea. That's why they don't work out. That's why we have problematic relationships, unhealthy relationships. We got to start somewhere with childhood and family dynamics first and foremost, because they built these unhealthy forms of understandings and relationships for us. And I think relationships are personal. And that's my biggest part. I think it's personal. How you feel about a person and how that person feels about you, regardless of what title you want to have for it, or how far you want to go, or whatever the case is solely between you and that person. And it's not necessarily a conversation that the world can give you to make that. You get what I'm saying? I think I think that it's a personal thing that the people involved in it make their judgment as far as what they expect from it, what they want from it, and they go from there. And I think everything else on the outer view, you know, it is
I
just
think,
something that is, you see what I'm saying?
yeah, I think it's a lot of mental abuse people not ready for. I think it's a lot of mental and emotional abuse in relationships that people don't
Yeah.
understand. Think some people are too soft-hearted or been too babied in relationships to understand what is healthy and what's unhealthy. Um, and it's a form of abuse. I think that form of
I
abuse is
think that
overseen.
people have a problem with codependency. So they depend too much on others or certain things to help them with their own inner uh situations. But relationships are not always supposed to be it's just not healthy.
You
It's not
single, Miss Angel?
healthy. Recently, yes.
How old are you, Miss Angel?
I am 35.
I felt like it. Same age as my wife, right? I'm 39. I'm 39.
Uh-huh.
I felt like you was in your
Right.
mid 30s.
Hmm.
Um, don't give up. Um,
What you
I'm gonna
mean?
tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this.
Mhm.
Relationships ain't that hard. You gotta want to love somebody just as equally as you love yourself. And we can't always say that everything is a form of me first or you first. It's a us first. That's why I said I don't look at the negative of any relationship first. I only look at the positive. I know the negatives already, so there's no need to look at it because I know how I'm going to end up. Um, but as far as certain people, I don't want to say women. I'm gonna say certain people. They don't know how
Mhm.
it's going to end up because they got options. They can have what they want.
Well, see,
You got the choice.
women don't have options more than men have options either.
Yeah,
That it's an
they
equal.
don't.
Men men have options just as much as women have options. I don't understand this whole idea. First of all, let's just stop that, because the same way men are looking at women, women are looking at men. Let's just be real. Okay?
No, it's not real. That's not real, Miss Angie. And I'm coming to break this to you. It's not
Why?
real.
So women
It
ain't looking at men.
and your sons is gonna prove it to you that it's not real because they're gonna get that girlfriend they first love, and you're gonna
Uh-huh.
get the chance to witness their first real heartbreak, and you're gonna see how it affects them.
It's sad that
And
we
then
expect this type of stuff though.
it's
Mom,
going to
Deuce, thank you
it's
for
going to
coming
happen.
through,
It's
Queen.
going to happen. And I have a son, and he just went through his first real heartbreak, and I had to break it down to him. I've never seen such pain in the happiest child I ever seen in my life. That I had to break it down to him. That's not the end of your happiness. Um, but it affects
That's
men and
sad.
women
This is
different.
abuse.
But that's why I'm saying to you, any woman that's gorgeous, any woman that will prove that they can be loyal and submit to a man, don't matter if you ugly, can't do anything, handicapped, he will pick you and stick with you. Mm, That's just
That is so
the option. That is
insulting.
the option. That is the option
that women have that they don't even know that they have. That's just something, because men just want loyalty, love, and respect. We don't want much. And you know that other
Mob
good
Juice
stuff.
just asked, how old is your son?
17. 16 be 17, about to turn 17 in August. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. Cause we're not gonna
Yeah, he went and got
build me up to pay attention to the time when my children get their first heartbreak. We're not gonna do that.
yo, I'm trying to tell you, man, you ain't been there yet. That's what I'm saying. You there, but you ain't there yet.
What you
My
mean?
daughter is a player. I got a 17-year-old daughter. She's talking about what a guy can't do. And I'm telling my son, look at your sister. Look at your mom. Look at what you can't do is what they're gonna get rid of. And what you can do, they might not even respect. Think about yourself, man. If you don't do for yourself and have for yourself and understand that you could be alone, you can actually lose it all.
Would the women need to have that same understanding?
They don't.
See, that's the problem, because I feel the same way. I do for myself. I have for myself. I don't use that as something that needs to be given from somebody else. That's not fair to, if you care about yourself, you're gonna do for yourself. You get what I'm saying? When two people come together, you get what I'm saying? It's not for somebody to do more for the other. You do for yourselves and do what you can for each other. That's how a relationship is supposed to be.
That's true, but somebody's gonna always do more. If I'm the man, and I say I'm the
Mo-
man, and I'm being the man, if another
Mo-
dude, the dude tries me or a bear tries me in the woods, I can't let my woman go out of the kids. I gotta go before them. Okay, I guess I gotta jump in front of the wolf, and I'm not expecting the woman to do that. The woman that I know that
Deuce,
can't
I
beat me gotta
understand. I'm
step
not
in front of
trying
the
to do.
bear.
He making it sound so horrible, Ma Deuce. I don't know what to tell. Look, let me tell you. Wow. I'm really not. I'm not built for that. Look, I
Put
don't
you in front, put you
understand.
in front of the bear
Okay,
then?
see, my understanding is this. When you are in a relationship, okay, and this is the last time we're gonna have this discussion on my panel, okay? When
I'm
you
done
are
with
in
that.
a relationship with anybody, they have to care about you genuinely. It should not be a motive about what they see they can get from you or have from you. That's not okay. That is abuse. Okay? And you are to do the same. That's why it's a partnership. Marriage is a business plan, it's a contract. You get what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? So
Usually broken.
when you are doing that, it's not, and I understand sometimes it's not a tit for tat thing. And I understand sometimes one person may have to give more than the other. One may have to sacrifice more than the other, but there's waves of that. But throughout the entire time frame, the intent is not just for self. We take care of ourselves and we do what we can for each other. That is a full-blown partnership. And the moment that you feel that you are putting out more than you are getting in, you are being drained of your resource and you are being taken advantage of. And that is not okay for anyone. You should not want to live that life miserably because you'll feel as if you are a failure if you walk away. The truth of the matter is, if you feel like the truth of the matter is, the person that failed the relationship is the one that made you feel that abuse. Mardu says it shouldn't be, but nowadays it is, Angie, and that's unfortunate. And that's why we're speaking of it. Because and see, Ralph, let me explain this to you.
Yes, ma'am.
That very thing that you speak of, that men are experiencing in relationships, Angie has experienced that.
I believe it. That's why I say you want to get one of the women. Why I say it's so genuine. Well, I really
Yeah,
only
because
I don't care. I don't tune into most women at all, but I listen to you because and like I said, you're motherly, you're understandable, you're giving. I don't know, like if this is real you or not, but who you portraying yourself to me as or to your audience as, you come off as a loving person, and that's respectable. You know what I'm saying? So you always gonna have my support. But in reality, as we go into the world, we're at a disadvantage. And I want to leave you with this.
In the world, and see, I can only be
If you can't be used, Miss Angie, if you can't be used, then you're useless. I'd rather a person use me righteously than use me wrong.
Now, see, this is the thing. We all can be used, right? But fairly. I can understand fairly because in my reality, some people see me as a form of value too. You get what I'm saying? Even though I'm not the man and I can't get out there and be the muscle necessarily, men see my value. They see that. Right?
Yeah, goddamn right. I do. Right? You know, that's why I fool with you. I see your value.
Okay, so you have to understand that I have been targeted because of that, right?
I've seen that too.
Okay. So what we have to understand is this. We cannot settle for abuse. That's not what we're doing over here. I'm not settling for abuse. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, and I don't want you to do it either. You get what I'm saying?
I wouldn't do it, but I understand. I wouldn't do it, but I understand it. By you know.
And this is my real life. I can only be Angie for real. I'm not faking the phone. I'm not flexing with people. And a lot of people find that to be strange, and I get it. Because the world is filled with a lot of characters who aren't portraying themselves to be who they actually are. But I can't keep up a facade because it's too much work. And
Too much work.
I don't have the energy to do that. I want to be exactly who I am to everybody. I want to be loving. I want to be loved. I'm going to
say some love and hip hop stuff to you right now. I'm going to be messy just like them people in love and hip hop. I told you over a year ago that more women betrayed you than men on your channel. More women that stabbed you in your back and made it seem like it was just about y'all when it was really about getting their results for themselves.
And you right. You right. The men on my channel since I started have never betrayed me.
Hey, that's my form of saying, not just in the relationship, even in the form of abuse, which we were talking about the strippers. Once men make a dedication and loyal to something, we stick no matter what. Even if you say something we don't like, you ain't got but so many chances. We'll still have love for you, but we ain't gonna abandon you like the rest. That's my point, Ms. Angie.
Well, I don't abandon.
You're an anomaly. You're an anomaly. We call those in the man world. We call that unicorns.
A unicorn. Why you calling?
You found a unicorn, bro. You found the one and only.
Are you serious?
Yo, it's that bad out here, but y'all, you see, but the thing is, y'all don't understand it because y'all outnumber it and y'all don't understand. So, and I hate to keep saying the relationship thing because that's the only way sometimes people understand because it's a hard thing to grasp because you have to actually look down on yourself. You have to start judging yourself too. So that's why I use those things. But in reality, us men don't have anything to stand on besides our word, our job, our God. And if the woman don't align with that, or life don't align with that, or people that we judge don't align with that, we must separate from them before you become worse than them. Or dead. Or you go lose your mind to insanity, you make a stupid decision, now you're in prison. So that's why you need a strong family structure to tell you when you're wrong, to drill something in your head as a form of abuse to make yourself better instead of being like everyone else.
No, you're not proving that point, bro. You're not proving that point. But I'm gonna let you have it because what'd you say? Bro, you're not proving that point. Abuse is never okay. It's not. And see, okay, if we're gonna call me the unicorn, right? And I'm the
Uh,
one that has experienced this just as much as you guys, from a lady's perspective, right? And I'm a double whammy because I'm the unicorn, right?
yep.
Okay, what I'm saying to you is you have been abused, and we're not settling for that anymore
Yeah,
because if that
we're not. Yeah, we're not. But
and not only that, but we're not gonna give it out either. We can't do that. And what
uh,
we have
I
to
don't
be
know
clear.
about that.
No, because you started off calling the stripper hoes, but you love them.
Yeah. Oh my mama. Yeah. So look, and I don't mean these fake hoes either. I'm talking about real hoes. Okay. I'm a prime example.
Mhm.
I'm dropping my homeboy off. We do, hanging out, street stuff, talking. I'm telling him, bro, shoot, get yourself together, bro. Like, I don't know why you over here make it seem like you don't love your girl, bro. Like, just because you can get what you want out here, don't make it seem like, you know what I'm saying, like you won't lose what you thought you had. Soon as we pull up at the goddamn red light, a old hoe pop out of nowhere, show us show us her body or whatnot. She was like, I want the boy that's driving. What's the boy that's driving name? I said, ma'am, I'm thankful that you showed me your lusciousness, but I'm married. I don't condone these acts. I want you to do better. My boy looked at me like I was like something was wrong with me. I understand that woman understands my desires as a man that will make something fun for me. But that fun ain't worth that dedication and this time I didn't put it to this marriage now. Okay? So I definitely don't condone her being the sweet, loving whore she was. But if I
Oh
was single, that would have been right up my alley.
no, that wouldn't have been right either way. Even if you are single, it's still not right, right? Because if it was
No,
bad,
we both.
if it's bad if you're in a relationship, then it's bad if you're single, right?
Because now we all hoes, so we in the same boat. Only somebody righteous can judge us
No.
now.
What in the world?
We in the same boat now.
Okay, so while
Chocolate and
you're in the
cream.
relationship, they all the worst names in the world that you could think of. But when you single, oh, we kinfolk, we kin like.
Yeah, yep, you got that right. We not only is we kinfolk, we blood.
Bro, we getting
yeah,
off this panel. I got to
we
go. I got to work in the morning. I'm not playing
we
with
spirit. Look, we spiritually are brothers and sisters now. Until I get out that spiritual world, and you right about that.
you. Okay, well, thank you,
I
Ralph, for
got you.
coming
I
up on
got
my
you.
panel. We got no resolution for this conversation. So I ended up being exactly what I was speaking against, causing a situation and trying to create a resolution. And I think we might have set our people back maybe about 2 years
Uh-uh.
in this whole discussion. So,
Nah, yo, don't even look at yourself like that. You're telling me the things you're saying. You did well. You did very well. You got for
I
women
did.
who do hear this, for people who do hear this,
Mhm.
and for men who heard this, they heard a
Yeah.
genuine person. They heard a person who wanted to stop our society from going against the nature of abuse. They heard a
Yeah.
woman who was building a conversation with a guy who's speaking on the worldly side that us men have to go through for women to see how we have to stop this abuse. And also, we found out that we also know that abuse is never good, right, and wrong in your eyes and some eyes. But we do need to find a way to make things better, to talk
Yes.
without abusing.
Yes. Now
So
you're getting it.
it didn't go overshadow. It might felt like it didn't go overshadow.
Thank
I
you,
listened
Ralph.
very well, but I gotta tell you what it is. And we gotta do the work as people to make it what it is. You see what I'm saying?
Right. That's all I want. I want everyone to be able to grow freely and with no hindrance. And that's the thing. I don't want anybody to feel as if or feel shamed into a space that they can't do it. And you can. Everybody can. So thank you,
Love you,
brother.
Angie. I'm gonna step down.
I
I
love
love
you
you, man.
too. You be good, and please come back because we can have some more panels like this. I think I'm gonna start doing some panels like this more often.
Hey, you still in love with what's your guy name? Kevin Wesley?
Kevin was just in the chat. We was reading his, and what you
Oh,
mean?
I
And
didn't I didn't see it. I'm not in the chat. I can't go down and see it. So uh
I
you
support
with
Kevin Wesley. Yeah,
you with the poly like he is? Cause I'll come
I
get you,
have.
Angie. I'll come get you. I'll come talk to my wife and say, hey, look, I like Angie. We'll come get you.
Look at you. I have never done poly before. I have not.
And you got a
Um,
genuine sisterhood that I like too, Miss Angie. So it's like I don't think you're an abusive person. I don't think that you name calling. You believe in uprightness and sisterhood. So you fine by me. And you ain't ugly over there. So me and my
Deuce,
family into it.
Deuce, you hear Ralph? Look at him. I appreciate it. I got twin boys. They 15. You gonna take my babies in with me?
I don't make the offer now. I just made the offer already. So, I take whatever come. I told you as a man, I'm taking whatever come with it, right? You said that's a sad way to live, but goddamn it, you gotta pay to get what you gotta live your way to get what you want. You feel me?
Well, Ralph, I'm gonna be real with you.
Huh?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Where I am in life, if anybody, if somebody can take me into another form of a union, they are definitely an impeccable person. Because what I am asking for, A Stokes, thank you, Queen. Right, Queen, you see it? A Stokes, I'm telling you. But what I am looking for is for something permanent. And I'm not,
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I
what
take
I'm
that as an
looking
appreciation. I am too. I definitely am looking for something permanent. I don't want no
something
fling. I
permanent.
ain't into flings.
So with that understanding right there, we can't come towards Angie thinking, you gonna come to her with the same kind of moves and as everybody. That's not gonna work for me because that's
Hey,
done.
Andrew, I'm gonna tell you what's gonna work, right? And I
You
know you said
scaring
you
me,
want to
bro.
go. I know what you can look. I'm telling you what it is, Miss Angie, because I don't know why my heart telling me to say this. I ain't no stalker. I'm a man who got what I want all my life. All my life, I got exactly what I want. So I don't know what it feels like to be broken up with. None of that extra stuff. I don't have the bondage of being traumatized. But I'm saying this, Miss Angie, I can take a no, and I can still be a friend as a no, and I can definitely take a yes. But if I do something, I don't do it for no short term. I do it because I want it around until I'm gone.
Well,
Yeah,
that means you got plenty of time to just sit around and see if you even like me for real.
yeah.
Right?
Maybe back chat on Instagram or something.
I'm not doing none of that. I'm just messing with you, Rob. We gonna be
Oh, my
forever.
bad. You sound close. Where you at, Alabama?
No, I'm not in Alabama. Look
You
at
somewhere
you. You gonna walk me into it anyway, right? No.
something like that. Something like that. Because
Listen.
I'm in Virginia. I'm in Virginia, and I feel like you no more than 500 miles away, 600 miles away.
This is the thing. Okay. Angie, I got an idea. Okay. And I'm sticking to my idea. Because we're not getting any younger. I'm 35, right? And I
Uh-huh.
want my idea to come to pass, okay? And I'm not going to tell anybody my idea because I want my idea to be exactly what that is, right?
Okay.
Okay? So, if anybody, if you are considering what you're stating to be serious,
Oh
then
God.
you you silly. then you will know it in time. Okay, just enjoy the show because I'm kind of past all of the
I heard. I
Okay.
heard. I don't believe it though.
You don't believe what? We're not gonna do this. Ma news.
I heard you too loving. You too loving to not do this. You know what I'm saying? And you too
I'm
joyful.
extremely loving, and I don't want my love to be taken advantage of anymore. Even though that I give it freely, it has been taken advantage of. So I'm not doing that anymore.
Same here. That's why. Look, that's why I'm saying this. I'm gonna actually get down after I say this because I'm washing dishes. So my hands are wet, so I couldn't hit the end button. But Ms. Angie, ain't nothing wrong with taking your time to yourself.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with getting you together.
That's right.
But I'm telling you, I'm gonna play this back to my wife too. I got interest in you.
Okay.
Yeah, I got interest in you. You know what I'm saying? And I already told her before. I'm like, I like that lady a lot. Something about her. I like that lady. She's like, what she look like? I said, we only got a head and shoulder picture of her, but I wish I knew what she was hitting on, boo.
That's not true. Have you seen my short videos?
No. I only seen head and shoulders.
Okay, well, I got a lot of video. Well, I guess I gotta post some more pictures. But I love the wife already.
Yeah, I got a wife that like me having happiness. Let's say that.
Oh, you're doing too much, Rob. You're doing too much. I respect it, though. I respect it, though, bro.
My wife like me having happiness, and I like her being happy and friendships.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't date women. I don't.
That's fine. That's cool.
Okay. You're not going to lure me into this conversation. Ralph, get off my panel.
Hang up on me. Hang up on me for real. My hands wet.
All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. We're going to call this a night.
All right, good night, y'all. Hey, look, y'all persuade her to come my way. Shorty swing my way.
You ain't no but a troublemaker.
Just say good my way.
Good night.